That's for sure.
Yeah, dude. Speaking of Catherine Zeta-Jones, I sounded like Kirk Douglas for like a week. Like, I was nervous. I was nervous going into this week.
Right.
Because for some reason my voice just left me and I sounded like RFK Jr. Like it was like you can still hear a little bit of the frog, but I was full blown like the CIA killed my whole family. Like,
by the way, how does it no one talk about the fact that RFK Jr.'s voice sounds like everyone whenever they talking to a fan?
oh, that's funny. Yeah, it is a little bit because it kind of chops. I figured I just wiggle my Adam's apple while I talk, and I do like a kind of like a Roz kind of voice, right? Where it's like, I used to chew cigarettes behind the dumpster. But if you add that to this, you're like, I want to fix our healthcare system. And it's very similar. Like it's like when I figured out how to do I don't remember who I saw do it, but they're like everyone had Stephen Hawking's
right. I remember that,
for a while, and I would just thumb my I was wondering about science, and that's like a little cheat code. The only problem is this hurts after a while.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I was like yanking my throat around, and I was like, I wonder why I lost my voice.
It's because you're fucking with your voice. But
it's so fun.
You're playfully choking yourself, and that should be just up for sex, for impressions, just for like for you to nut.
Well, I think I frayed. Oh, hello, by the way. I think I frayed like a vocal cord or something because it was getting. I had a bunch of shows in like 2 weeks, and I was yelling the whole time.
No, you have seen it. No, so subtle.
And I wonder about. I get off, and I wake up the next morning, and I just can't talk.
Right.
And it freaked me out because after like 4 days, I mean, I've smoked for a long time. I was like, is this forever? is this gonna? I might have to change everything about my personality to cater to sounding like a villain.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Like, I've learned not to scream, and it's not because of my act. It's just because I was in a very unhappy time in my life, and so I had to keep screaming in a pillow, and then I lose the voice, and I was like, oh, I can't do this.
Hold on a second. You had a pillow injury.
I had a pillow injury, which was when my therapist told me, he's like, if you're getting mad, just scream into a pillow. And by the way,
you'd call her up, you'd be like, you fucked me.
What happened to you?
You made me into a monster.
Now everyone knows how sad I am.
That's funny.
Thing, yeah.
Do you like therapy?
Yeah, no. Like, I don't need to know that much about myself. Like, this is...
That's all right. We'll figure it out.
All right, that's fine.
Was it my headphones? Oh, okay. We're still going. We're good.
Okay, fine. Well, you stick it in there. There we go.
Yeah, baby.
But yeah, but when I first started doing therapy, I did that thing every comic does where like, I'm just going to tell the therapist jokes. And,
right.
That's
so mean to do to a captive audience.
Well,
and not captive like, captive like, I can't leave.
Right.
And I have to take notes.
I was mandated, I was emotionally mandated to do it. I was in a relationship, but also like, you need therapy. I'm like, all right. So it was in a court order, but it could have been, depending on how it's played out.
And then you're just in there going like, so what's the deal?
You ever notice, like, does this make you mad? And like, that's like literally got to the point, and it's the piece of tropes where the therapist like, this is great, when we're going to really talk about you. And I was like, ugh. Me.
It's like that. I've been getting frustrated with like I've never been to therapy. That's probably obvious. But I've been getting. I think that honestly, the most messed up part about this opinion that I now have is I think I saw it on a TikTok, and it was some therapist talking about it. No, it was the idea that making everyone very aware of all of these psychology terms has now taken the place of ever trying to get better. It has become like a lens to go, okay, I'm not going to deal with the world. I'm just going to say, because I'm broken, I cannot.
I will say this. This is something I have a big problem with, is I don't like all the new terms, because I feel like we lessen the impact of the shit that's really going on.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like gaslighting. Just saying you're bullshitting me. Bullshitting is way better than gaslighting.
I had an ex-girlfriend that was trying to tell me that she had trauma because her desk was separated from the other kids' desks at some point.
That's a memory, dude.
Middle
That's not a trauma.
Yeah.
Like, unless all the kids then like did something
if they then frayed off little pieces of your skin and wore them on their face and ran around the room chanting in Latin backwards.
Once a week they cut an inch off your hair and threw it in your face because they were casting magic on you. Yeah, that would then be trauma.
That would be trauma.
Yeah, you're like.
Also, I never went to Catholic school, so I don't know what it is.
Let me tell you something. Catholic school, not cool. Second grade.
I could smell it on you.
Oh man, it is. Second grade, my teacher was not happy with we had to make a puppet. And I don't know if you ever know anything about me, but I'm horrible with everything I do. So my puppet did not look good. And so she was like, you didn't apply enough. And I was like, I don't know how to make puppets.
Why? What curriculum is this?
Oh, second grade? That's all it was. Okay. Whatever second graders do, that was the time we had to make a puppet?
I didn't know if you went to some kind of satellite school for ventriloquists or something.
Oh, no. It was just New York. It was a Catholic school in the 80s, and I was like, yeah, we're going to make puppets today, or this week. And so she was so...
Your puppet isn't good enough.
So she straight up got my puppet, and we have to wear like the ties. Mm-hmm. She stapled the puppet to my tie, and then grabbed me by the hair, dragged me to the front of the class, and went, this is what failure looks like.
Oh, man.
And I was like, oh, man, why am I hard?
I would just look at her and go like, babe, what would Jesus do? What would you... That's so insane to me.
By the time I got to 5th grade, I was so over the hump of what this was that they were going to kick me out because I was answering all my questions whenever I had to do a test, I would answer because God said so.
That's good.
And they were like, you can't say that. I'm like, why? What isn't that what you...
Chapter and verse, baby.
Yeah, just like whatever the answer is, it's because God said so. So we're like going to cut the middleman and just go straight for the origin.
Like, I hear all the horror stories. Like, and I went to a Christian school for a while, so there was a version of that, but it was definitely toned down.
Right.
Like yeah, our teachers dated students, but like it wasn't
because God said so.
but they waited until they graduated to marry them.
Oh, that's yeah. You don't want to make it
good
weird.
Christian men.
Yeah, you don't want to make it weird. Like you can't be like, oh, she's just getting A's because he has the teacher's baby. Like that's.
Well, we had there was this one there were rumors I think Coach blah 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 blah. Obviously, I'm not gonna say
sure
is dating we thought maybe he hooked up with someone on the volleyball team or something like that. And then she graduated, and then the whole community was like, we can't wait to welcome blank and blank in their new marriage.
Wow.
Under God. And everyone was just cool with it, and it was weird to me. I was like, I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like that hypocritical line where this is not cool, but this was totally
But that's
cool.
a weird loophole to where you're like, it's okay if you marry him.
No, it's never okay. That's like saying it's cool because I married my drug dealer, so I don't really have a drug problem. I
don't have a drug problem. I'm supportive of my husband's career.
He's an entrepreneur. This is not. You're a little hypocritical in a way. That's horrible.
Yeah, no, I mean, we wanted this. We want to be in this Cutlass in the backseat in a Kroger, slinging rocks.
How else is my kid going to get into private classes?
Gary Veeder told us to do this. He said, hustle, babe. And we're hustling. Got the kids in the back. We're smoking.
I know Gary, so I totally tracks.
Oh, dude, what a wild man.
Oh, man.
I love because there was a time, and I don't see him much anymore. I don't see any Gary Veeder anymore. Uh-huh. But there was a time between 2017 and 2019.
Yeah, he was.
Where I couldn't turn my phone on without him just being mean to me. I'm like, I don't know this guy. And I was like, look at you. Look at what you're doing right now. You're looking at your phone. Yeah, you are. Faggot. Like he didn't say, it was that attitude of just aggressive homophobia. Of him talking to me.
Specifically.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there of course I'm shirtless. And I'm seeing the reflection in my phone. I'm like, damn it, Gary, I think Gary might be right.
I gotta turn this around.
I think that the fact I don't make money makes me gay.
I disagree with that. I think
gays make so much money.
Make so much money.
Gay people are so good at
the fact
money.
That you don't make any money proves he's wrong.
Dude,
and how straight you are.
The fact that you could be a guy and have a makeup empire is wild.
Dude, I don't even.
It's fantastic.
I like that leap alone is crazy because I grew up at a time where like if a dude worked at like any kind of makeup stand in the mall, they always looked like a 1920s villain. Like they just tied a girl to train tracks.
Yeah, and they'd have like the flipped up collar and the thing.
And I was like, how does that leap?
Sit down. Let's apply a base layer.
Incredible. That is evolution and success and good on it. But like I don't understand how they got that.
It's beautiful. My sister can't stop watching RuPaul's Drag Race. And it's like, and it stirs something within her. And I've had several female friends where it's like watching that show brings them so much joy. And it's like there's something to like the drag queen world where it's like they're very funny.
Oh, hilarious!
Like there are some that they are comedically very, very, very good.
Let's be very honest for every comedian that's listening to this. You will never be as successful. Like, it takes you, like, festival appearances and TV appearances to try to get enough people to go to your show. You say there's a brunch drag queen show that sells out in 20 minutes.
Out of here, yeah.
And you're like, I can't compete. I can't do this.
We had this little hole-in-the-wall place in LA. We booked Bob the Drag Queen once.
Right.
Demolished.
Boom. Yeah,
demolished.
absolutely.
Came in with big silicone fake.
Sure.
It was amazing.
I mean,
it was such a good show.
It is a difference.
But, like, also don't talk to the kids.
Listen, I have no problem them talking to kids, man.
I'm kidding.
I'm glad you are, because like I talk to my kids all the time. Like I need a break because they're driving me around.
That's great. All right, yeah, fine. Talk to the kids, but at least pull the beard down once or twice and like let them know.
Listen, if Santa Claus doesn't have to do it, they don't have to do it.
I take your point. You're right, and I'm wrong. You are right, and I am wrong.
It's because I'm a parent and I've seen things, and you're still like, oh, there should be. No, there's not. Just go for it. All of it is a lie, or all of it's real. There's no middle ground.
I love like in the next 20 years, that is the new Santa. It's like, when did you tell your kids that not all men are women, or men are men? Like, when did you break the news to them?
When they figured out all the presents came from me.
My dad's got a great work ethic.
And superior bone structure. Both those things came out.
I don't know, man. It's one of those things like the Catholic school thing. I'm going back to it.
Sure.
But it's like you think it's a trope because you hear about it so much, but then every person I talk to,
I've got the ruler smack on the arm. I was denied going to the back. I was one of those pee shy kids where like I don't like peeing around people, and I told the teachers like, "Hey, listen, I really got to go pee," and they're like, "You should."
Like, I actually have to hold it.
And well, I try to hold it, and then it was really bad. And then I did kid logic. I was like, well, sometimes if I don't like pee all the way and I put it in my underwear, a little pee comes out and then the underwear absorbs it. Well, if pressure is the way the system works, if I just let a little bit out and the underwear absorb it, it won't hurt so much. And then I can't wait. And then this is when you learn that when you start peeing, you can't stop. And it's like, oh, I'm pissing myself in class.
Oh, fun. You tried to find the hose.
Yeah,
and you just flipped it all the way.
And it just plowed out. And so, I mean, trauma?
That'll make middle school hard.
Oh yeah, but it was elementary school, and I moved to an entire different state afterwards. So like, not because of that, it just coincided with it. But that is what exactly saved me, because if not, I would have been known as P the Pants Dasilva for like my entire
life. Well, and once middle schoolers find something like that out, that's you.
Right. Oh yeah.
They're the meanest humans. Yet. Yeah. They're the meanest ones yet.
I didn't realize that I grew up with the facial features of a 40-year-old man until middle school. And they're like,
everyone
what is those eyes and that face? And like, all this is big and all that small. You look like a fish.
The Gestapo has nothing. Has nothing on 5 7th graders.
Oh my God.
Like monsters. Peak like 1943, like before things started really,
Yeah.
Like peak Gestapo was not as terrifying to me as any 8th grader.
Any repressive regime has nothing on a bunch of 6th graders who just don't like your face. Like that's going to be a thing.
And it's not even that they don't like your face; they're just practicing talking.
No, that is not practice. That is like we're upset at our life because our life sucks. So now we're gonna take it out on you.
Oh, I found the cry button on somebody.
That's exactly it.
You're like the rat in the cocaine test. They just keep hitting back.
Like what happens if I keep cracking this all the time? And we didn't have the release of shooting people back then, so you have to take it and just dream of shooting people.
We didn't have the sweet release of Swiss cheese in school.
Oh, I mean, I could just commit a monstrous felony and then off myself and go down as a statistic? Oh, that sounds way better than processing this in my 30s.
Yeah, no one in the 80s was like, I'm going to write a manifesto.
Yeah, we could write, but, we had other things to do. Like,
you also had to read The Catcher in the Rye, so you had stuff to do.
That was a way how you learned how to write a manifesto. Like, Catcher in the Rye, like, hey, this guy's making a lot of sense.
Some ninth grader reading Infinite Jest, like getting fired up. That's very funny to me.
I had to read The Outsiders, and that's I was like, oh, so when you murder someone, you run. That's a good way to handle it.
But also, you don't get, and this is a little bit of a left turn. Sure. But like, you don't get credit for your work ethic when you grew up without the real temptation of now.
Oh yeah,
like that's I've been getting really pissed about it. I'm trying to write stuff about it, but it's like I think like you from the 80s. That's like the last bastion of like, yeah, we had to pull ourselves up from our boot. There was only bootstraps available.
First of all, I'm going to just focus on that statement for a second. Do you realize the term pulling up on your bootstraps was made as a point of showing someone how impossible something is? Because what there's...
You need a shoehorn.
No.
What?
The bootstrap it's saying when you go down to put your shoe on, you're pulling bootstraps, lift yourself up while putting your shoe on. You can't. That's what pulling yourself up. It's to show an impossibility, not a feature.
That makes me very happy. That makes me very happy to find the etymology of that.
Whenever I hear people go, "Oh, it's pulling your foot," it's like saying "fly to the moon on a jump."
But they're saying it with this hatred.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Why don't you just fly off the roof?
Yeah. And
it's not hard. I flew off the roof for 30 years. I was standing next to a bank when they built it, and they made me a banker. And that's how it happened. I pulled myself up.
That is exactly what it means. So, that all being said.
Clip it. I'm saying this to me. I don't have a producer. Clip it, Nathan. Do this
future
later.
Nathan, clip this.
Yeah, future Nathan. Clip now. Clip it now. I love little things like that when you realize that like the meaning was the opposite.
Yeah, and the fact that things get co-opted like that blows my mind every single time. And then we were saying about like giving credit for the stuff that we survived that no one talks about. Like it is. There was a. I think the problem came when we all started to tell kids. The idea of telling kids like you're great, and if you just believe in yourself, everything else would be great too.
Because that didn't really kick in until when?
That was late 90s?
Oh, early 90s. My parents said
okay,
that.
so like early, like since I was an 80s kid, like to me that was like, by the time I heard it, I was like graduating high school, like, oh, we're special? Like you're out. Okay, I had no idea.
What was that Louis bit where he goes, you can be three things?
The 80s literally was, it not even can be three things. It basically like, don't screw it up while people are moving forward. Like, like at worst, you're going to be like
a Chinese mentality.
It really was.
Like we're all in this together.
We are, but you're going to be a hurdle. So don't.
Oh, also, what a privilege it was to be able to grow up in a place where everyone, the majority of people, really believed that the government was on their side. And there to help them.
Dude, I really...
Like, there was that whole generation from, like, the 50s on, like, the greatest generation.
Right.
Because we believed in it. And it doesn't necessarily mean it was true, but, like, we believed it. And then that rises you up. Like, having a confidence that actually, I think Uncle Sam's doing good stuff.
But, little things like killing a president and then, like, selling drugs to cartels to make money for regime changes.
And then selling drugs to your own people.
Or
psyoping thousands and thousands of
getting caught, like, stealing and then telling people it wasn't me while they have all the evidence.
Creating the Unabomber.
Yeah. When you start doing stuff like, is this really, like, here's the thing, I feel like the problem is we are, as a society, we're kind of like children. Because we're like, it's like, well, the government's like mommy and daddy. So mommy and daddy would never lie to us.
Mommy and daddy would never lie.
But then, mommy and daddy lied. Like, yeah, but like in their lie, you got Christmas and two fairies and Easter bunnies.
Mommy and daddy would never bring the Nazis back.
Well, mommy's got a fetish, and daddy doesn't.
Mommy would never take all their best Nazis. and give them white picket fences and tell them to figure out how to get us to the moon.
Well, you know, when daddy's like, I think I'm into black chicks, and then the mom is going to get really mad and go like, I'm going to go.
Well, I'm going to systemically oppress black chicks.
Yeah, so it's going to be a whole thing, and then she's going to blame all the daddies for doing it all in the first place. Like, no!
What I'm saying is like that is
we got married to them.
They don't see that as an advantage. Like people of a certain age.
Sure.
They look at the world as we had it infinitely harder and we did infinitely better.
No,
there were aspects that were harder, but your ignorance truly is bliss.
Absolutely.
The lack of options is what made it possible for you to become the best car salesman in North Dakota.
Because you were just selling in your town. Like you weren't like online competing against the world.
You had the opportunity, this is important, to become regionally famous.
Yeah.
You could just be famous in your town. And then that was enough.
Right.
Like that was, and people would find that and they'd get that good feeling right there. And that was enough. And then they could go, I'm just going to go be the best damn car salesman I can be.
Do you remember, like, if you watch 80s movies, there's always a guy who owns 3 car dealerships. And he was
runs the town.
He was the king of the town.
He's like, was it like Boss Hogg from like...
Yeah.
Yeah. Pulls up in like a Corvette with like bull horns in the front.
Like, and all that dude was he owned like 3 gas stations.
He has like a Taco Bell.
And a hardware store. Like, oh, he's Boss Hogg. Like,
yeah. He's got like, what is the older version person of flexing? Is it like a double-breasted jacket?
I think back then it was just having your second wife. That was your
second
old
wife.
like, this guy's got money. He had a divorce,
and then he went in again.
Wow,
he recovered from a divorce.
Crazy! Like, oh my god, he must make like $40,000 a year.
Oh, you must be able to make like $40,000 a year.
Like that. Like that's the crazy part when I think about like I remember like growing. Like, oh, it's only happening now because we're all paying attention. I'm like, yes, we're all paying attention because we have nothing else to do. But at the same time, if we couldn't be distracted by online stuff and we weren't comfortably cool in our apartment, we would be taking over every city, town, state. I'm like, things need to change. Like, it's just good.
Yeah.
Air conditioning and Wi-Fi keeps us sedated. As long as that happens, we're not doing anything.
It was the same thing, like with what happened with the pandy. I think of it a lot like when you're trying to get really motivated for your new year, but you just got a lot of Christmas gifts.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're like ready to go like new year, new me. I'm about to get fit. I'm about to figure it all out. Oh, got an Xbox. Okay. Well, yeah, like because we were all just alone and stuff there.
Yeah.
That's a bad. It's a bad
analogy, but I saw what you're going for. Like I'll tell you what, when the pandemic hit, I was one of those cats who I was really just like, if it wasn't for I'm a cat. Yeah.
God, no, you're such an 80s New York guy. I was just one of those cats, you know, and you said it like that, and you didn't even snap.
Yeah,
I was just one of those cats. We were figuring it out.
Just keeping it loose, cats. But
the nuns used to beat me.
They did. Literally, just told you the story. This is what family looks like. But I was genuinely happy. Like, if my marriage wasn't falling apart, it probably would have been the best period of my time.
Yeah.
But like I was like okay, so but like just being away from it, oh my god, it felt great, and I was using that opportunity to do physical things, and I was like it was the beginning of me realizing I need to get into shape. A lot of good stuff.
But it was alone time is good if you can actually be alone with yourself. So
right.
Like, that was the thing. Like, no one actually is capable, I think, now of being alone. Unless you're some tech millionaire that can have a silence retreat at Joshua Tree.
Right.
Or something where they can actually unplug. Because it's like your bank accounts are tied to your phone, all your stuff is in this, and then that's the infinite portal machine. So, like, your grandfather could fuck off into the woods for 4 weeks and find himself. If you did that now, we'd find you. Like helicopters would go out and like go, you gotta get back into the machine.
Well, I mean, isn't that the plot of Rambo, The First Blood, where he was just like, he was living in the woods, like, and just he decided to come out, like, where does this guy come from? Like, Nam, that's what happened.
I love those stories. Like, there was one of there was a Japanese guy who just didn't know the war ended.
Oh yeah, I heard this story.
And he murdered like hundreds of people who were just trying to get onto this island. I mean, in Japan.
Listen, you gotta give respect. That is
like, just forgive him. Like, just forgive him because they're like, he thought it's what the emperor wanted.
It's like college debt. Just forget it, man. It's all forgiven. Who cares? Like, he's a guy who was doing the best he could at the time, and he's great at his job. Like, he's that kind of follow through. I mean, the Japanese as a culture is just destroying us all the time. So I'm always like that.
It's such a weird, crazy culture because it was just warlords.
Yeah.
It was like forever.
Yeah.
I got pretty deep into it because it's something you do.
You're watching Shogun, you're like, I gotta know more about this series.
This is way before Shogun. I had Book of Five Rings like early on. I was like, I was big into the Edo period.
Oh, look at you actually knowing dynasties.
But when you look at like the history of it, the whole history of the country can be boiled down to, for like the first 2,000 years.
Sure.
It's like a 4,000 year old country. But like the first 2,000 years, it was just warlords, and they would all kill each other until there was one left.
Right.
And then that guy immediately would try to invade China.
I mean,
and they didn't know how big it was.
Right.
And they just kept getting demolished, and then they just start the process over again. And it would be like 100 or so years, or like 50 years of build back up, fight. And then that guy was like, it's our destiny. They would just take them over. And everyone was on board.
It wasn't even the Chinese army. It was just that one village. Like, who the hell are these guys? They keep coming all the time.
Dude, get Miyamoto out of here. He's causing a lot of problems. This Miyamoto guy's becoming an issue. But like, it's crazy because it's like, and then you hear about World War II, like the atrocities.
Oh yeah.
That like we don't really ever hear about it. We don't even really kill Japanese guys in World War II video games.
Not really.
We're really just focused on the weird helmet guys.
I mean, until they attacked Pearl Harbor, we're really kind of leaving them alone.
There was one game. Did you remember? You like video games?
Oh yeah.
All right, Medal of Honor: Rising Sun.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And they like gave them all rice patty hats.
For cultural accuracy.
Yeah,
it's just in history books, I think. So.
Because it was like the quality wasn't that great, but you had to find a way to make sure he looks Japanese from over there. Because the quality wasn't that good. The German helmet, you can always tell. Like, that's a German.
Absolutely. Yeah.
They go gray and this, but they're like, what do we do with these Japanese guys? Because their uniforms kind of looked like ours.
Man, the pitch meeting on all the options they had to settle on that must have been.
Have you thought about two big buck teeth?
Like, how about every time a bullet hits him, you hear a gong? No? Is it that? All right, so let's keep the hat. That works better.
They charge you. It was like,
jeez. Like, no! We're going to get sued. It's technically a hate crime. Let's not do that, but keep it as a backup. That might work better.
But we don't even really, we don't kill them in the video games or something like that. Like, the West really didn't care about that theater.
Right.
Like, we've got the Pacific after Band of Brothers.
Right. Only after.
Yeah.
Well, do you know there's a whole thing over here? Oh,
yeah.
All right.
Well, there's something about whites where I think it's like there's a part of you that just goes like, I think I'm supposed to die in an armed conflict in Europe. Like,
well, that is technically the motherland for most of you. So you're like, I gotta go back and be the best death dealer and then die there, and my legend will live on.
And it's like you hate that it's a party, but like I've spent the last couple of days playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Nice.
Did you play the first one?
I have not.
It is one of the hardest video games in the world. It is a realistic medieval game.
Okay.
Like, if you want to make a sword, you gotta hammer the bellows and like double quench your blade and like pick things and do alchemy. It's the hardest game in the world. But there's something about it that I just need, and I can't explain it.
Is it the incest?
No, no, it's a very small feature. It's a very small feature. But there's something about it's like I need plate armor.
You should get a work for it.
And I think I need it, which is weird.
Well, no, if you're a knight going into battle,
I'm not. I'm not. But I'm kind of waiting for a holy war, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure where it's gonna come from, but I'm ready. I'm ready.
What are we gonna
I don't even know what side I'm gonna be on.
I'm just saying, I'm gonna be ready for this, guys.
I'm ready. I think we should take back the Catholic Church. I think Protestants, let's call it the Reformation.
The Reformation.
Because it is retarded. The Reformation is the Vatican City hostile takeover. Let's do it.
I mean,
and then we turn it into a Billy Graham megachurch.
At this point, why not?
Why not?
And everything is going so off the rails anyway.
The other thing we can all agree, the Pope's getting kind of cocky.
Some people call him a little bit more sympathetic. You call cocky.
I think he's getting a little cocky. He's just sitting there going like, yeah, everyone can get into heaven. I'm like, what are you doing, man?
Well, first of all, that's been the rule. Like, you get that, right? All you're going to say is, my bad at the end, and you get into heaven. Like, it doesn't matter what horrible, you just got to say, my bad.
Well, if it's the Catholic, you have to pay money. Like, oh no, they got rid of that. But
they did. I mean, in the beginning, yeah. Like, I grew up Catholic, so I'm letting you know, there's no money involved. Like,
yeah.
Money, if you want to get into
no, you're right. The Pope's poor.
Yes.
No, you're right. He's definitely not walking around like he's in a rap music video.
Did you see all his clothes are just white? He can't afford other colors. Like, it's really, he's a very strict
man. Actually, it just weighs down all the gold vests that he's wearing.
I mean, listen, when you're from the streets, you got to represent. So that's clearly
the gun-proof car. The Pope mobile.
Well, he says inflammatory stuff, so people are going to be like, "I'm going to gun for the Pope," and like, "I'll get through these glass, man. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you got." I mean, it's a challenge. And then when they do die, they put the smoke out because
I'm ready for an Italian American Pope.
I mean,
because we've had a lot of Italian popes,
right?
I'm ready for a Guido Taguchi kind of guy.
Oh man, we've all been waiting for that. Like, I growing up in New York, whenever the first when I became aware that popes died, because I thought they were Highlanders, like they had to fight otherwise.
Oh, okay, yeah. And then the next one was
as I thought. I was like, that's how it is, right? And they're like, no, this, and there was a rumor that was going to be a New York Pope, New York bishop was going to be nominated to be Pope, and I was like, oh my god! But it was an Irish guy, and I was like, that's not the New York bishop we want.
Wouldn't that be a win for the?
Oh man, are you kidding me?
Dude, Irish people, we would become insufferable if we got. I mean, we're already pretty close, but like we would. Okay, there's a thing about Irish people,
right?
Where it's I think polar opposite from Italians.
Okay,
I think that like Irish people, and this is going to be a biased view that makes us look better, but
what you lack in pasta, you make up in donuts.
Well, no. It's Irish people for the most part. And you're going to have outliers. You're going to have Conor McGregors and stuff like that. Hate themselves.
Okay.
And think that, like, if anything good happens, that's an accident.
Right.
And things are going to be bad. We're almost Jewish in that way.
It's Catholicism, really.
Yeah, it is. But Italian people are like, I'm the greatest.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm so dope. Like, all the time. Like, I don't get... there's almost no such thing as Irish machismo.
Yeah, there's Irish fury where you just can't. You've had enough.
Yeah, and now we're blowing up cars.
Exactly. It's like peaceful and then murderous, and there's nothing in between. There's no.
And it's because you didn't give me a fucking choice. You didn't give me a fucking choice. They put E's in their F words.
Yeah.
I don't even know what you're talking about. You know what? I think I'm going to blow up a whole fucking car. How about that?
And then we're gonna name a drink after it because it's happened so many times. Like
Italian guy, they'll get it out fast.
Oh
they'll
yeah,
just pop you in the nose. You know, y'all have a cannoli or something, and y'all can figure it out.
Well, Italians, it's almost like putting like hot sauce on a meal. Like a little bit more, a little more. We'll let them over here, and then it becomes crazy. Like, Pop, you good? Oh, Pop, and then stab me, and it goes right over there. Like there's like a couple of outs they give you, but once you cross that line, then it's straight up murder. Mm-hmm. And Irish cats, they're just straight up like, I'm gonna just shank you in the face.
Well, Irish, there is drama. There's one of my might be one of my favorite comedians of all time. Is it Dylan Moran? He's an Irish comedian.
Okay,
and he's legendary. And he over there.
Okay.
Yeah, he wasn't huge over here. He was in like he's in all those like Shaun of the Dead movies and stuff like that. All He's like part of that posse.
Okay,
but he's brilliant. And he has this thing about he was talking about Irish drama. He goes, they wake up in the morning and go, oh fuck, look outside, it's fierce mild. We're gonna have breakfast. Are you gonna do that thing where you throw the bread in the box and burn it? Like there's drama there.
Yeah,
but it's not ever directed at others. Usually, like I don't know.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Like from what I understand, the greatest thing that ever happened to Ireland is like three things. Like the British attacked you, right? And then you kind of took it over, and then you guys had to leave because of the potatoes, mm-hmm. and then Bill Burr, and that's it. That's basically all the three things I know about Irish people.
And really only like Irish guys claim Bill Burr. You know what I mean? Like guys who've had like 4 drinks and go, I'm Irish. You know, like those guys. The ones who get drunk and they get a shamrock tattoo that's the wrong shade.
Yeah.
And like those guys, they're like, Bill frickin' Burr. But Bill Burr is never going to be like, as an Irish guy.
Yeah, no, it's not.
It's not going to happen.
He's a Boston guy.
He just has red hair.
And rage.
And rage.
Those
and people go, okay, well.
Clearly, that's your people.
That's funny. I love that, yeah, because like Italians, you get, sexy, suave, this, and like when you think about Irish Americans, you're like, oh, you mean those mean drunk guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as a Brazilian, I relate a lot to like Irish people because like a lot of Brazilians, it's very much like they're very fun, happy people.
Oh yeah.
And then there's a line, and then it's straight up capoeira murder.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't do capoeira, so I just
dude, the art of dance fighting.
Oh,
you don't get into the Brazilian art of dance fighting.
I did lambada once, and I was kicked out.
I just love the idea of like a guy's about to murder you, and beforehand he's like,
quick, somebody give me a beat.
Like this. Like if you can get murdered on cardboard. And it's not to catch blood. Like, it's not like...
The only way I can kill you is with a dance track. So watch out. It's going to get crazy.
Brazilian people are some of the most dangerous people on the planet.
Absolutely.
So it's like the jiu-jitsu, all that stuff. I've known Brazilians of them. And they have this...
I saw what you did there, by the way.
Nah, it's so stupid. But the chai porra or porrada, huh? Porra.
Let me tell you something. My mom and dad are both Brazilian, right? And my mom was studying to be a nun. And then she met my dad, and she left the nunnery to marry him. Nice. And my dad, black belt in judo, black belt in karate. Oh. He was a bouncer, Studio 54. Like, this guy was like a throwdown master. Like, yeah. I used to hear stories about him doing it. I was like, no, it's not him. And then as I got older, people were like, did your dad tell the story? And I was like,
well, it's the thing about guys that are that dangerous. They do not come off as dangerous.
Right.
When you know that nothing is going to hurt you sans a gun, you become a sweetheart.
Oh, yeah.
It's like guys who get into fights all the time or guys that are always picking fights are usually guys who don't know what they're doing.
Right, because they
have something to prove.
Yeah, and the only time I ever saw my dad be a version of what I used to hear from people was I was 8 years old, and me, my dad, and my uncle, we went to a supermarket to do groceries, and it was in Queens, New York, like 84, 85, right? Mm-hmm. And we got the shopping cart, and we're leaving, and there's like two dudes waiting, like, like when you get those when you go to the supermarket, they're like little stone pillars to get. So they're waiting, just scoping out the scene, and see my uncle, and my dad in a full shopping cart, and they're like, "That's a lot of food," and my dad said, "Thank you." And they're like, how about we take that plus whatever money you got? And my dad and my uncle look at each other, and my uncle just takes off running, just like far away, all across, like just. And I'm like, oh my god, like he's leaving us. He's leaving me and my dad. And I'm 8, and I'm the shopping cart, like I'm not even standing.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, we're gonna die. And my dad leans over to me and he's like, no matter what you hear or what you see, you keep your hands right here in the shopping cart and don't cry. And I was like, oh man, this is my superhero origin. Like, he's gonna die. I'm gonna vow vengeance. I'm gonna become Batman. This is what's gonna happen. Out of nowhere, my uncle flanks these dudes and comes in and just pops one dude in the face so hard he drops to the ground. And when his friend realizes what my uncle just did to his buddy, my dad, with a full shopping cart, kicks the shopping cart so it pivots up. So you know that bottom rail where you can put things underneath the shopping cart?
Yeah.
He jukes it forward, hits the dude in the shins. The dude falls over into the shopping cart, and my dad uses the shopping cart as a pivot and hammer fists this dude down. Get it. And then, guy,
how old were you?
8.
Oh, dude, that would have just ruined my whole, like, it would have exploded my brain. Because, like, everyone has this thing, they're like, my dad can beat up your dad. But when you see your dad maim someone...
Dude, it was insane. I, like, every day, I'm like, why are you so mad at your dad? Like, you don't know what I've seen him do. Like, I've heard legends and I saw it in action.
I've heard legends.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. It's crazy.
I've heard the tales.
Yeah.
I've heard the tales.
And as I got older, the stories got crazier. And I'm like, that doesn't sound appropriate at all. But
I'm just nervous. Hold on.
Go be nervous.
I get... Is that going? Yeah, it's going. Yeah.
Is it going? All right.
Yeah, it's going.
Yeah, we'll clip this out.
I looked down and that wasn't going for a second. So I was just, it might have been when we knocked it over.
Oh, so it's your fault.
Of course it's my fault. Every single F up in this show, there's no one else to blame.
I don't like the fact that you're making me look competent. Like that is a hard, weird situation. Yeah. This dynamic is not good. Like I'm supposed to be a guy who's like fucking things up. You're like, no, it's me.
It's me. I am almost always the problem. And that's the Irish in me. They go, why wouldn't everything be my fault?
And the Catholic in me is like, you're making me look better. Stop.
I need this.
This is my identity.
This is my self-hatred.
How I know that I need it. Son of a bitch.
Oh, that's so stupid. I like those Brazilian guys are crazy. Like there was one guy I used to roll with, jiu-jitsu. And
Molly.
Yeah. We did a little bit of that. And he was a black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu who was about 280.
Wow.
And he's from Brazil.
Right.
And I used to call him like what was it? Steamroller? Because he just start at your feet and he'd slowly work his way up your body. And just it felt like a toothpaste just getting slowly rolled up. And you couldn't do anything about it, and it was slow.
Right.
And he would talk to you while it was going on.
Hey, now I'm going to do this.
So,
and I'm going to do that.
Don't worry about it, man. You're here with me. The ground is my ocean, and you are drowning. And I'm like, oh no.
The only option is to allow me.
Don't worry about it. You just do whatever you can do. You'll figure it out.
I like how your impression of a Brazilian dude is Antonio Banderas and a Cuban dude.
Yeah. To figure it out. Porra, they say a lot. It just means come, right?
No. Well, porra just means, first of all, porra could be like, damn it. But
porra means everything.
Yeah.
But it literally translates to come, doesn't it?
No. Vem is come.
Oh, okay.
And also when you're actually talking about like jizzing on a girl, it's goza is to come, but also goza also means to tease. Like I'm just teasing you. So like
I'm just jizzing on you.
I'm just jizzing you. You understand? The entire Brazilian language stopped being developed when you're 12. Like once you know 12, there's no other.
Once you know all the sex words, you're fluent.
You're done. That's basically it. Like when you hear Brazilians talk, they have it's basically just the vernacular of a 12-year-old, but like now for politics.
That's great. Like you're seeing like your president up there, and I'm tired of jizzing on all you people. And I tried to jizz on you and to explain. Vote for me, the reasonable choice.
In Brazil, the slang for a lesbian is sapatão, which means big shoes. But also, if you have big feet, you're also big shoes. So if you don't know if you're referring to a giant or a lesbian, if you use the word sapatão.
That's great.
It's confusing. And I know the language.
Well, there's weird things about English, but we don't have that.
That's what I'm saying. There's a very there. You know, they said like the sky's the limit in the Brazilian language. There is a limit. Like we have no more words. Like we stop here.
Like, but we have words that mean other things. Like dike.
Right. But it also means like a dam.
Correct. Like a dam. Right. Like a thing. But we never use it for that.
Right.
But
we've all decided, like, well, it started off here, but it's here now. And, and in Brazil, like, no, all of it counts forever, and we're never going to do new words. It's just this.
It's just coming.
Just coming and shoes. And coming and shoes, if that's your thing.
I like, who came up with that word? It's just like, I think all these lesbians got big feet.
But they're all 5'5".
They do have matter. They got Bigfoot energy.
I mean, they definitely have a move in the nature kind of moves.
Because to be a Brazilian lesbian, you have to be really into that. Like you got to be really. There's no half-assing like bisexual Brazilian people.
Well, I will say this, and
that's not true. They're trying to fuck everybody.
I was about to say, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Brazilian attractiveness is a lot like Asian attractiveness.
Which goes until 40 and then it just shoots off a tank.
Sort of. Because I'm 46 and I feel like I'm actually gotten better. Before I used to be disgusting and now I'm like mildly passive.
Yeah.
But I will say like, what I mean is like some people are just drop dead gorgeous forever. And then the other percentage is just gross from the beginning to end. You're just like, how do you represent it can't be trolls and elves. We need humans and dwarves in between to make this work. And it is just a hard dichotomy of just these two things existing. And it's a lot. Now, we have more elves than orcs.
Yes.
But the orcs are a solid percentage.
And the time of the orc is 9. The time of the orc is 9.
Thanks, Tinder and alcohol.
Mm-hmm. Oh, dude. Well, I lived in San Francisco. So there's a huge Brazilian population there.
Marietta over here in Atlanta. Marietta has got a big it's the other place with the S. Smyrna has like a that's apparently
because there were so many like rich tech people in SF, and they all had Brazilian au pairs.
Sure,
everyone had a Brazilian au pair.
Yeah,
so like every girl you'd meet like out like a hot Brazilian girl, they just had like a white family.
Sure.
And they just lived with them, and they were like ingratiated into their weird like social dynamics and politics.
I believe it's called cultural rescue.
Yeah, is that what it's called?
I'm not really sure, but
I'm just so tired of Jeff. I'm so tired of Jeff and his wife always arguing all the time.
His kids are fine, but
Jeff, what are they doing? I'm taking care of the kid.
Let me tell you something.
They have such a no-nonsense attitude towards life.
I can pick out the Brazilian accent like it's no problem. I have never been able to master the Brazilian speaking English accent. And so whenever I heard people try to do the Brazilian accent, it has been just every other Spanish culture but that.
I think mine's pretty close.
I mean, for a Cuban, it's fantastic. Maybe a Venezuelan who just got here, like really solid. But like
there's a lot of that
yeah. Well, I mean, also it's the ch also because the Spaniards and the Argentinians have that too. So the ch. So you have a lot of that. Now, Argentinians get very mad whenever we make fun of them.
But it's also very musical. Very
it is. Yeah, it is very melodic. The cadence of the language because we're essentially most South American countries are happy. Yeah. Because we're so poor, we have to find the happiness.
Well, they really pull themselves up by their bootstraps.
I mean, really did. I mean, thank God for the elves. There's an accent. I think it's like, hey, look at us.
It is a wild thing. Like when you see like a very Brazilian woman, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, did you know in Argentina, a part of their healthcare system, they're allowed one plastic surgery a year?
Yes.
Yes, they are.
Get on it, America. Get on it.
Whenever someone's like, "Oh my God, Argentina is so beautiful," I'm like, "Are they?"
That's actually state-sponsored hotness.
Well, I mean, listen, when you're hiding out from the Nuremberg trials, you need anything to change your face.
Oh, that's right. That's crazy. They're like, put it in the book. Put it in the laws.
Just one. We don't want to make it obvious.
Can you make me black? These German guys sitting there going like, Fräulein, I'm the wrong shade.
I'm going to have to bang this brown and see what happens because I can't really. It's not good.
This is going to be 3 generations before these are normal color.
There's no reason Argentinians are the only people from South America that are predominantly blonde-haired and blue-eyed, but there they are. And
well, that's why there's so many accordions in South American music.
Yeah.
It's because of Germans.
Absolutely.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah. And like, we talk about the etymology of a thing. That blows my mind every single time. You're just like, how did this? Oh, yeah. Right. But Brazil also has a large Japanese culture in São Paulo because the Japanese were part of the Axis. So we're not completely but maybe
you don't get off scot-free.
We don't. But I will say the idea of a Japanese Brazilian chick sounds amazing.
But also, you've got to be very aware that like Germans being there wasn't their idea. Well, it wasn't the Argentinians were like, please come.
Right. It was
the Catholic Church took them out and put them there.
I don't know if it was the Catholic Church. I think it was the grab bag of the they better get out of here.
Well, they grab bag, but who was there for the rescue? The Catholic Church smuggled them out of the country and got them to
See, I did not know that part. So now you've just made me a little bit smarter about that. So another reason why I'm glad I'm now a Catholic in remission is because it's great. Now I don't need
don't worry. The Reformation is upon us.
Man,
the re-reformation.
That is a thing I can't wait to see. Like on TikTok, is like the revolution in the Vatican as a re-reformation,
the re-reformation of the Catholic Church, and we're gonna make it worse.
Absolutely.
We're not gonna make it better. We're gonna turn it into like a Joel Osteen like kind of thing.
Yeah, really.
The Pope's gonna roll out with one of those face mics on.
Oh my God, please!
And just explain to people how you're gonna get into heaven and you can have a yacht.
If I don't see a cross with fireworks coming out on all the points, then I feel like it's a failed revolution. Like I need that.
It's a failed revolution.
I need that. That's now. Maybe I'll come back.
All we need is like one social thing to latch onto, like the fact that a lot of them still kind of wear Klansman stuff.
Right. You're like it's co-opting. We're just gonna bring that in.
And we're just gonna like look at those Nazis because we can call everybody Nazis.
Sure,
but like if you see like the old video, like it's not old videos of like Catholic processions in Italy, and everyone's in full clan gear with like the pointy hats and everything, and it's not that.
No, it's not.
Actually, I think that like the white supremacists got that from them.
It is literally cultural appropriation.
They appropriated it
absolutely.
and then made it the racist thing. But I think for the reformation, we lock onto that.
Bring it back to basics.
Yeah, we need to take a video with no context, and post it online and say, "Look at these racists." There's no black people there, but like there's
what is more online than posting a video with no context? Look at this.
The end of the world will be televised, and it will
and recontextualized
redone. I'm on board for the reformation. I think that's a great idea. I mean, it's a horrible idea, but we're going to do it.
I mean, listen. At this point, I kind of want just. I mean, listen. If we're going to go down this rabbit hole of just ridiculousness, I want like to the point where we just give up on all logic and just go like religious war for everything. And I kind of want Scientology to win.
Really?
I kind of want
talk me through that. Why do you want?
Because here's the thing.
Because they're the silliest one.
It's not just that they're the silliest, but they
are the silliest.
They're the only ones that admit like, but guys, aliens are real. And so like
Mormons.
Well, Mormons they don't know.
Do you know much about that?
I know a little bit.
All right. If you nail it as a Mormon,
right?
The belief system is that you get your own planet.
I thought you get your own heaven.
No.
Like
you're in charge. You are God of a planet.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought you got your own heaven and then everyone is under you.
Nah, you get your own planet.
Like a Ponzi scheme.
And if you liked your wife, you can invite her to be like next to you.
Oh, well, I'm divorced, so.
Yeah. So it's like, but they're full on board with aliens. Like they're full board with like metaverse kind of stuff.
All right. So I did not know that extent of it. So now I understand. Oh, yeah. I kind of like the idea.
That's why you see so many great ex-Mormons creating amazing works of science fiction.
Oh, because
they grew up with science fiction interwoven into their world.
Sure. I mean, listen, I've always been a big fan of like. Here's the thing. I not to get super nerdy right now, but
go do it. Dude.
Okay. So yeah, I'm still flabbergasted at the fact. Here's the word flabbergasted. That aliens. We keep finding out aliens are real. And no one seems to like even acknowledge that it's real.
It's not that. It's I started believing in aliens less.
Okay.
When the government said that they were real.
Really?
The second that the government was like, yeah, I'm like, or not. Or maybe just not. Like
so the more they're denied, you're like, it's clearly real. And then you're like, the more like, actually, remember like, oh, what are you distracting me from?
Hiding?
Yeah, now what are you trying to hide?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you the one abducting us and putting stuff in our butts? Like, is this? And that's like, I'd love to believe. I would love to believe that aliens are real. And on some level, I do.
Right.
Like, because if you just think about the infiniteness of it, of course, there's going to be something.
Right. Listen, the fact that they are now, like they said, like they're not even coming from space; they're coming from the ocean. Yeah, like that to me.
But honestly, it's like the government is in the last 4 or so years has gotten so comfortable with just bold-faced lying,
right?
And gaslighting the entire nation.
Yeah, okay.
With the COVID stuff that like if they tell me this ridiculous thing, I'm like, but you think you can get away with this, and they will.
I feel like the fact that they're putting it very nonchalantly it's almost like, not to get political, but it's like the Trump playbook where he tells you he's going to do something horrible and then he does it. He's like, what? I said that I was going to do that. I didn't do anything wrong. I told you I was going to do that.
But I wouldn't put it past our government to like realize that they're kind of losing their hold on us.
Right.
And then dressing a guy up as an alien and having a press conference and then promoting their agenda through this creature.
I mean, listen, as a comedian, I'm always a fan of anyone who commits to the bit. So if you're going to go that far, I'm like, dope. But here's the thing too. If it's going to be an alien, if an alien's going to show up, I don't need a press conference. I want a full on Independence Day, like show up over a city. And then they come out and be like, yo, like that's don't show up with people. I want superhero take over all our phones, just hack the system. I'm like, hey, we're fucking aliens, and now you're gonna deal with it. I'm like, that's real. Okay. If you show up as part of a conference with the Interior,
that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna show up at the World Conference, and it's gonna be like the little green man and everything, and they're gonna be like, you really should vote for Biden.
Too late.
I know, but he's coming back.
Only as a cyborg. If he comes back cyborg, I'm like, then I'm kind of in.
Elon Musk is gonna switch sides halfway through and put a Neuralink into Joe.
I like how in your world Elon Musk is Anakin Skywalker, and he's like, oh no, I've done this all wrong.
I have to flip sides. That's funny. You just reminded me of Jack Ferguson. Shout out, great comic. He's in San Francisco. He had a joke that I think about probably like once a month. All right, he was like, what level of a conspiracy theorist am I? And he goes, I think that Stephen Hawking was just a vegetable that the government used to tell us lies about space.
I would have believed it more if he would have said a Jim Henson Muppet. Vegetable, I feel like, all right, like that just means anyone could puppet him. But if it's
that's what's kind of funny about it is there's just a guy in the back going just with the like a RC car controller.
According to that logic, someone heard the puppeted version of Hawking and said, if we put a fan on it, we can make him a Kennedy. Okay, let's do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can all agree, like, Neil deGrasse Tyson sucks.
How dare you, sir?
That guy sucks.
I love Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Really? He's so holier than thou.
Because he's smarter.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
Look, I get into this.
He's a theoretical physicist.
But they're all based on real science, and that's why. Here's the thing I always say about people: that people get mad at science. It's like, oh, they say one thing and then they say another. No. Wait. Let me cook.
I'll let you get it.
Let me cook. All right. So here's the thing: what makes a scientist is not because they know everything. Is that they know all the things that are provable, so their guesses make the most sense. It's the smartest guess. The rest of us are idiots who are like, maybe this happens. Like, no, stupid, because you need to know these things.
All right. So I would agree with you if I disliked him for his science.
Okay.
I do not.
You hate his vests?
I don't like that he is a scientist who now has an opinion about everything. And then says that his opinion is valid because he knows about science.
Well, here's the thing. If he's giving fashion choices, I disagree. Like Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Like politics and like social issues.
Well, when politics goes into the realm of science, I pivot towards him. But if it's like, if something where it's more of an opinion-based thing, I'm like, I maybe not so much. But like, if it's like, we should care about the environment because of this science, I'm like, well, yeah, it makes sense.
Mostly it's just me as a dumb guy going, well, you think you're better than me?
Well, yeah, but that's exactly what I just said. He's the smartest guesser. So your guesses are clearly stupid because we're dumb.
But let me guess.
Yeah, he does. He will let you guess and then goes, now I'm explaining why you're wrong. And I
hate that.
Yeah, but then fucking, look, if you're going to put in the time to go on a YouTube rabbit hole, just read a fucking book, bro. Just read a book.
That's fair. Oh, yeah. Who wrote those books?
Scientists! The people who know shit, they're telling us, hey, dummy, this is how it works.
Maybe. And that is science.
Maybe it's science. Yeah, that is science. You are a theoretical smartest.
Correct. Well, I'm also, I don't believe in deifying scientists just because of their degree.
Oh, no, I don't deify. They're not the greatest things ever.
That's what you were saying.
No, what I'm saying is they know more factual information that allows their guesses to be the best option. Right. We know the things taste certain way, and then we're like, oh, and that's how brains work.
But
no,
academia is riddled with politics.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's just as much backbiting and backstabbing and discrediting that goes on in any field.
Listen, I learned that when I found out 4 out of 5 dentists. Like who's that 5th dentist? Who's like, that clearly is a guy who's
He's the voice of reason.
I don't know about that.
He's the voice of reason. He's like, this fluoride's making us gay.
The 5th dentist is mad that everyone else found out that he was full of shit. He's like, how dare you?
Listen, that fluoride thing is crazy, though.
I don't listen. I've heard that
it's bad for you.
Well,
it's
yes,
very bad for you.
Well, it's bad if you're eating it directly, but if you're putting it
in your mouth every day, yeah, you're right. That's different.
A portion of it and letting it clean out the water, like a digestible Clorox. You know, and so chlorine, you know, like you put chlorine in the water so you can swim in it, right? Mm-hmm. But you're not drinking that water. But if you're going to, and here's the thing too, the only water you should be drinking straight out of the tap is New York water.
Okay.
Because it's so polluted, it negates everything out. So then you're getting pure water because you kind of almost went all the way around.
Yeah.
Everyone else's water is gross.
Well, this also just kind of proves that I don't really have any consistency in my beliefs.
Uh-huh.
But like, I also think you should drink out of the hose, and whatever's in there will make you stronger.
I mean, eventually. yeah, because you're going to kill all the weak cells.
Yeah.
And the ones that make it through, like,
I really do have a bootstraps approach to physical health. I'm like, if you can't handle it, get out of the kitchen. Like,
it's just, I feel the same way about alcohol. Like, certain, this will either murder you or you're going to become a stronger person who just doesn't drink that anymore. Either way.
Or you're going to alienate all your friends and family.
Eventually.
Yeah.
But they're going to do stupid things too, so why don't you just beat them to the punch?
Yeah, or just get them on opiates, and then you can really just do whatever you want. I mean, because they're gone.
Yeah, with sleep, you know, it's the ultimate advantage.
Yeah, but okay, all right, we're still on this. Scientists, Pfizer,
right?
Smoking.
Yes.
Scientists all said smoking was fine because lobbyists paid them to do so.
Yeah.
Opioids, doctors prescribing things that get people hooked for generations and destroy families because they were paid to do so.
Right.
But, Travis Kelce, the Super Bowl, has a Pfizer commercial.
Right.
And everyone goes, we got to listen to scientists.
Well, here's the thing. We also said cocaine and heroin was great at a time as well.
It is.
I mean, fun is not great. Those are two very big.
It's so great it will ruin your life.
Like, you are a fun time, but hanging out with you is never a great option because you're going to be in trouble. So it is fun, but it's not great. You know So, I feel like you're right. There's a long history of doctors going, this is totally cool. Like, oops, actually, no, it's not.
Yeah, because we're still learning still.
We're still learning.
Also corruptible.
Well, absolutely. We're not. So that's why you need, I always feel like, I don't mind if you change your opinion. But if you are going to double down, regardless of all the new information we find, that's when I'm like, well, then fuck you then. Like,
there's also a part of me that's kind of contrarian. I'm like, that's fine.
I mean, as long as you're like, I feel like if that's the case, you're like, you should sign a waiver. Like, I'm cool with this.
Well,
like,
I thought I did that when I decided I was going to live in abject poverty doing comedy.
That was a choice. It was a choice. You need a waiver.
But it was me telling the world, don't pay attention to this. Well, definitely pay attention. Like,
I need validation. Look at me, please. Yeah.
But don't take it serious.
As a comedian, look, first of all, as a comedian, don't ever take anything we say seriously. Like, we are here.
Except for this.
This is real.
Right now.
Listen here. Like, all this is important and should go down on a tomb somewhere so people don't forget.
Oh, dude, we're time capsule in this app.
Oh, please, thank you.
This app, dude?
Uh-huh.
I'm not even going to release it.
In a decade it comes out.
Dude, it's going in a time capsule, man. Our grandkids are going to see this. They're going to go, Siebzor, and they're going to... Whatever language we're doing.
I mean, they were kind of right up with the fluoride.
Yeah. Well, the aliens will be integrated into our society by then.
Oh, yeah. So, once again, elves and orcs. The hottest aliens are going to be in our society.
Oh, my dude. I hope that the first ones that visit us are like the Brazilians of space.
Oh, man. So many space STDs.
Oh, dude, they're just smokes. No one talks about it. Everyone makes them look weird. What if they're smokes, dude? What if the aliens are smoke shows and we just can't help ourselves?
I mean, listen.
And that's how they integrate. They just come in and they're just too hot.
Listen, If you ever watched The Fifth Element,
Of course.
okay, that chick who sings opera.
Oh yeah.
If
Really?
that's, oh my God.
I did it for you.
What?
What?
You dated her?
No, I said that did it for you.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Like her whole thing with the and
This is the weirdest dance moves ever.
yeah, finding somebody who dances like I do. Like that's how I dance. Like when I'm sober.
Oh,
So
sick,
yeah,
dude.
that's I'm like this is great. This is I get this.
That's how you dance too when you're drunk. You just think that it's different.
No.
Oh, okay.
Drunk is way like low key. Like I have quasi rhythm, but like sober.
The Kendrick Lamar 2 step.
Yeah. But like when I'm sober, it is that, and I think I'm nailing it all the time.
Oh,
And
that's funny that it's like the opposite of normal.
yeah, it is. That's exactly why I have a problem. So, but like that type of alien, if that comes out, oh, I'm in.
Smokes.
Smoke to me, that is a smoke show.
Yeah.
Like not an Avatar kind of alien. I don't mess with that.
I'd be curious to see your browsing history.
I mean, yeah, welcome.
All right, hell yeah, dude. A lot of Japanese art.
If it doesn't have tentacles, I'm not in.
Testicles?
Tentacles.
Oh, okay. I was like, we're learning about each other. We're figuring it out.
I mean, it's got to be there because I got to see the guy and picture I'm the dude. So it's going to be a vision. But then
But like Smoke Show Alien, that is the running zombie that. Like you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
because it's
I
like
can't stop it.
I always think I could handle. See, this is just terrible. I always think that I could handle. Oh wait.
All right.
Oh wait, I'll press this. Oh, I'm kind of seamless with it. I did change a memory card while talking. We got stuff going on. We're figuring it out.
Yeah.
But like it's what I call the running zombie factor.
Right.
It's what makes an apocalypse untenable.
Right.
Right, because like everyone thought we could handle zombies, and then World War Z came out, and we're like, they can run.
Oh no! When Zack Snyder did the running zombies on like the day of the
28 days later.
No, that was 20. There was a period in the early 2000s where they invented running zombies, and it was Zack Snyder's like Day of the Dead or Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead,
and then it was 28 days later, and then World War Z, and it was like running zombies are the thing that make because before zombies,
but then with World War Z, it's not only that they run, now they're better at running.
Oh yeah.
now they build walls like ants and they go up walls.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's a hive mind kind of mentality.
Right.
Like they're working as a group, like doing the one thing that we can't seem to do as a society. Like sometimes we gotta have the people suffer the bottom so other people can get over the thing to make us accomplish the thing. Like they don't. They're like, just go for it, man. Just get an eyeball for me, and you're oh. And
that's the factor.
Excellent.
But like when we think about an alien invasion, we still kind of romanticize it with like the like an Independence Day. Like we're gonna overcome.
Sure.
I think the running zombie factor for aliens is Smoke Show Aliens.
Yeah, that's good.
Because nothing will endear someone to America or modern society more than people wanting to have sex with you.
Absolutely. I mean, all right, listen. So yeah, good-looking aliens. I mean, anything that's good-looking enough. We were going to be like, we're going to overlook certain things, guys, because this is where it's at.
We're going to let you get away with a couple bad sound bites.
Oh yeah, if they're good looking and they're talented somehow.
Oh, dude, if these aliens can dance,
oh my God,
we're cooked, bro.
Holy shit,
we are cooked. If they could come up with a catchy TikTok dance, we are cooked.
If a quarter of them can sing like the girl from Fifth Element, that's it. We're gonna be like dance tracks, and it's gonna be they're gonna give us like Space Molly, and it's gonna take over society.
All they need is our blood.
That's it.
That's all they need, dude. Like, isn't it worth like they get the press conference? Like, isn't it worth it for all this entertainment? Just give them a little bit of your blood.
I mean, listen, we already have a lot of women who have dedicated like 1 week a month to help out. That is really appreciative. But we need more.
Dude, we just repurposed the period as a way to satiate the alien overlord.
And suddenly women become better than men in society. That's a whole change of everything. These are
always better.
These queens.
They were always better.
Clearly. But these queens have now they're making $2 to R1. Like that is way bumps up. Like that. We need them there all the time.
Guys are like cutting their arms in the bathroom trying to catch up.
Let me try to help. Stop trying. Stop trying.
I'm so behind.
It's so weird. Like
I'm so behind on this blood. We're getting cooked on these blood.
People are like, can I donate plasma for that? No, get away. We don't even need this. This is gross.
All those hippie girls are like, what do I rub on my face now?
Placenta.
Well, then you gotta have more kids here.
I mean, listen. I mean, half aliens, babies. That space placenta is gonna be bananas.
Oh, dude. The first like mixed kids.
Oh man, you want to talk about a superiority complex?
Oh my god, yeah, dude. Yeah.
You give like a hot mixed alien kid like a Disney Channel deal.
Oh my God. They have half dreadlocks, half tentacles on their head, like it just like that. Like, I mean, like think of the amount of work, you know. Like,
white girls are just stapling octopuses to their head, just trying to catch up.
It's a whole. People are doing like that. They're hacking their own genome, like trying to go. Like, can I make it grow up? No, not even a little. It's not. It's worse than hair plugs. It's just really bad.
We wish you would stop wearing our hairstyles.
Stop appropriating our genetic culture.
You would already have this natural mucus if you were one of us. But you're not. Stop trying to dance like us. We don't like it.
I don't know what the alien version of Hawk Tuah mucus is going to be, but it's going to be crazy.
That'd be great if aliens came in and just like big dogged cool black people. And they're like, actually, you can't dance.
We're triple jointed.
You'd be surprised to learn that you have no rhythm.
We hear the sonic and the subsonic rhythms.
Oh, dude, that's great. Because they will become the new coolest thing.
Absolutely.
Like the second aliens come in, they are going to be top dog.
And we're going to give it to them.
Of course.
Yeah, like you're going to make our sports and our music better. Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
Well, let's not let aliens in sports.
I want my aliens in my MMA and my basketball and I want hit harder, jump taller, slam powerful. I want a hammer fist that goes through a guy's collarbone. Everything. I want that.
Aliens are showing up to the game and taking 5 knees during the national anthem.
Alien lives matter.
Let us play. Like, dude, you can move as fast as sound. You're ruining the sanctity of the game.
Not only does the defense not mark you, but when the sound barrier pops, they're easy. They're like, oh, God.
I think we can all agree there should be no teleporting in MMA.
I want more teleporting. I'm so pro teleporting in my MMA. I want it to be like Doctor Strange level. Like there's a big circle and he comes out, knocks you, goes back in. That's what I want.
I was picturing more like X-Men Nightcrawler.
Oh,
like with
that's
the cool,
also dope as well.
Yeah, with
I'll
the cool
take all
like
that.
blue smoke.
Oh, dude, I want superpowers already in my sports already. Like that's the one thing I never understood in comics when you're like, oh, you could have been so famous if you did sports. Like imagine Spider-Man in the football or basketball, be a monster. It's like,
yeah, why were you fighting crime?
Yeah.
You could have just been dropping threes.
He literally started out as a wrestler, and if it wasn't for Uncle Ben dying, we would have had the greatest wrestler of all time.
Dude, he beat Macho Man Savage.
Yeah, not even trying.
Bonesaw is ready.
Oh my God, that is my favorite Macho Man.
I got you for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of playtime.
Oh God, I love it. Because shout out Macho Man. He's just greatest of all time.
God bless him, dude.
Yeah.
And he like toned down his look for that movie.
I remember. Yeah. He was sort of like, I don't even wrestle that much anymore, brother. So he's going to do this a little bit.
He's like, just give me a lot of leather.
But your skin kind of looks leathery. That's exactly what I'm saying. I need the colors.
I'll tell you what, brother. If you don't have paper mache skin, you ain't a wrestler.
I'm almost glad that he's dead because a lot of wrestlers now have disappointed me. People who I used to look up to.
Oh, really?
That I'm just like, I'm kind of glad. I don't want to find out your other thing, man.
Oh, really?
Like him in like Ultimate Warrior. I'm like, I don't need you in the political ring now.
I just don't think there's a world where I could be disappointed in a wrestler.
I'm telling you, I've been disappointed.
Really?
Like,
I've always just been like, okay.
Undertaker has bummed me out a little bit. Hulk Hogan's bummed me out a little bit. Like, Mankind, still on board. Like that's I'm great with Mankind, but like there's a lot of people sort of bum me out, and I'm like, oh, I said really? I mean, yeah, oh, okay, that's weird.
Fuck, I had a blast at micro wrestling a couple months ago. I went and saw micro wrestling.
I always wanted to go see micro wrestling.
It's so fun. It's so fun. And they brought in like the heels.
Okay.
And they were just regular Mexicans. Like they didn't have enough midgets for a full cast.
Right.
And they just picked random, like they're still like this tall,
Sure.
but they were miles above everyone else.
I would have. I liked it more if they actually came out in a paper mache of a giant heel.
I am 90% sure that it might have been the same guy that they gave 3 different luchador masks to in the back.
Sure. Yeah.
He just kept coming out as a different luchador.
It's like when you watch like the John Wick movies and it's all the same stunt guys, but they make them grow beards and they keep changing their haircuts.
Dude, that's such one of the biggest mind freaks for me with like action movies is I know Tate Fletcher.
Okay.
So Tate Fletcher you've seen him in almost every movie.
All right.
He has a big curly mustache and he's bald. He has a beard.
Sure.
He's been in hundreds of movies.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched him die thousands of times, or like at least hundreds of times.
Like Danny Trejo was a stuntman bad guy in a bunch of 80s movies, and he just became that's how he became Danny Trejo. It was like he was just always like the background murder guy, and he had such a great look that people were like, who is that dude? And he got more and more popular.
Because he does Caveman Coffee. He's like big in the CrossFit community.
Okay.
So when I was doing stuff in that world, I met him.
Okay.
But then now I see him everywhere, and it takes me out.
Right.
It takes me out.
I fucking know that guy.
It ruins it because I'm watching John Wick. I'm like, get him! I'm rooting for my friend instead of rooting for the good guy. I'm like, Tate, kick him in the balls,
please.
Like
that's a crazy thing about like I was watching. I love watching behind the scenes for movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when they were talking about John Wick, they're like, we had a $40 million budget, and we couldn't afford a bunch of stunt guys, so we hired a crew and we told them, everyone grow your hair long and grow your beards out, and then you're going to be different gang members throughout the movie, and we'll just trim the beards and the hair until
over time.
So by the time if you see a guy being bald, he's been there for the beginning to the end, and he's now there's just the bald dudes with the glasses.
Well, so I learned this. I just want to look.
What are we're watching? We're checking. We're learning. We're observing.
It's still going.
All right.
Okay. I'm just so terrible because this is so fun. I don't want it to be ruined.
Are you sure? Because you see a time capsule. I'm not really sure.
No, I don't want time capsule. I learned, like, I talked to some New Zealanders who were in the Lord of the Rings.
Oh, nice.
And I found out that the cast of extras for that movie was like 50 people.
Really?
And they were everyone.
And they just cycled
So,
through.
like, it was the boom that happened for that, like, area in New Zealand was crazy.
Right.
Because they booked them, and then those guys all just got apartments together, and that was their job for the next 15 years.
Right.
Or like whatever, like 7 years or something like that. It was like the golden age of New Zealand.
Right, yeah.
And it's like everyone knew everyone. And like the orcs were the Rohirrim, were the elves, were the thing.
That's cool.
And they had a core cast.
Right.
So I think there were like maybe 300 total extras.
Right.
And there were 50 core cast extras.
Right.
And those guys were everything.
Wow.
And so it's like your orcs today, your Rohirrim today, your elves today. You're doing it.
That's awesome.
It's the same guys.
That's awesome.
And that's it. Like the one of them's a comedian. Like a bunch of them were comics.
Sure.
So it's like
clearly,
it's great.
Yeah.
Just hearing the behind the scenes stories of like them messing up and like losing their lines. Because they were just trying too hard. Just like open micers trying too hard, like trying to impress.
Listen, I cannot tell you the number of projects that I was like when I was starting out doing stand-up and I was trying to figure out like ways to make money. They're like, oh, you could be like an extra. And people were saying like, oh, and by the way, if you're an extra, when you're doing your thing, if you trying to zhuzh it up a little bit, maybe someone will notice you. And I have been kicked off more sets just for trying to zhuzh. So they're like, no, babe, that's not. I was like, oh, son of a bitch. Mm. So I mean, I got paid great, but like I was just like, sorry, I really screwed that one up.
I'm gonna butcher this story, but I'm gonna try it anyway. Right. I was talking to this guy who's a comedian, very funny New Zealand comedian, and he was telling me about one of his comedian friends that lost his role. So he was talking about like there's the scene where Boromir comes home and it's the flashback scene in the Two Towers where they're having like the parade for Boromir and all that stuff. And there's a scene where Faramir turns around and he's got 2 beer mugs.
All right.
And he goes, that's where my friend screwed up. He was supposed to hand the beer mug to Boromir and like have a thing. And he said the only note was, just treat him like he's any other soldier.
Right.
That was the note that the director, Peter Jackson, the direction that Peter Jackson gave. And he said that Peter Jackson never came down into the thing. He stayed up in his little Sauron tower.
Sure.
And he said, here's your note. Just just hand it to him like he's any other sort, because we want him to feel like this is just part of the team and stuff like that. So just hand it to him. And he goes, and they do all the setup, and it takes like 45 minutes to set up a take, and they do it, and then they stop, and then they come back. He comes back down and goes, just hand it to him. And then they do it again. And again. And he goes, and like, the comedian, he's like, I don't know what he was doing, but it must have been like. Yeah, exactly. Because he just kept going, just hand him the mug, like he's nobody. And then like they just kept having to reiterate and adding more. Like, really, like you don't even know him. Like just hand it like this. And then finally Peter Jackson comes down and goes, all right, Faramir comes in with 2 mugs. And it ruined that guy's like big moment.
I forgot what I was doing where the scene was we're supposed to be watching like a cockfight. And I was like a Mexican dude in the middle, like, and so this is just like be cheering. And then he said like, and your guys, your chicken is winning and your guys, you're losing. So I was like, oh, let me be a little bit ridiculous. And so as where chicken's winning, I just grabbed the guy's shirt and went, ah, and like, no.
They're like, real Mexicans wouldn't do this. There's nothing Mexican about that.
It was before the vitiligo. So
are you Brazilian?
I'm Brazilian.
No. Like they said that during the moment. Like, can you be less Brazilian? Can you be more Mexican?
Yes. Yeah.
You nailed it.
That energy.
Yeah.
That energy. And I
Just looks confused.
and I took it like Brazilian, sound excited. Like, yeah. Like, no, that's too.
Sorry, dude. Dial it back.
Nah.
Dude, losing an extra job is so funny. Like there's something patently hilarious about not being able to just be
normal in the background. Like, something about you thought you were special? No.
Well, that's the comic mindset is like, I bet I could elevate this.
Yeah.
He's like, you don't need to. They have actors for that.
Wouldn't it be hilarious if you saw someone do something a little bit extra in the background? Like, to me, I'm like, that'd be so funny. Like, you have this thing, but on the rewatch, you're going to go like, what's that?
Here's
like,
the thing about movie people. They take themselves real serious.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No fun on that.
It's the vision. You're ruining the vision.
But then, like, do you watch this? Kevin Smith's got a podcast called Hollywood Babylon.
Nope.
All right. Well, one of the segments they do is, I forgot the name of the segment, but they basically catch weird extras in the background and stuff being done. It's either
cool.
the batter. And I'm like, I don't know if that's a choice. Some of it kind of feels like they got away with it. Like this extra is like that thing where this is going to be really funny in the rewatch. And other ones are just bad. And I'm like, but if that gets away, then like you always should try to do a little something extra.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a comedy, there should be no, like, this is too much. Like, if it's a drama, like, someone's crying.
Comedy, you're just trying to throw everything at the wall anyway.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, if it works for the, like, but like I was saying.
But if it's like October Sky.
Right. Or
I get it.
If it's Philadelphia and you're the wacky nurse, no, that's not going to work.
If it's like Patch Adams in the dying scene and there's a nurse in the back just going like. Yeah, I can see it being.
Yeah, that for a bunch of reasons.
Yeah. My heart goes out.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh, interesting. Maybe that's why that thing got cut out of Patch Adams.
Yeah.
There probably was one guy who tried it and like, no, Elon.
It's actually, you'd be surprised. Patch Adams' set was kind of anti-Semitic.
On purpose. I don't know if you know this.
I didn't know that about.
It was a studio note. They're like, can you be less Jewish?
Can you be less Jewish? Meanwhile, the guy who told you that was like Merv Goldstein. So he's like, can you be less Jewish?
By the way, this is something, speaking of Black History Month and less Jewish, I will say, in a weird correlation. Shout out to Lenny Kravitz because
nailed it.
I would just say, I was talking to a buddy of mine. I was like, up until like 1963, Lenny Kravitz was like an accountant's name.
Right.
And now it's just a cool black guy who sings rock music and is like a huge hog.
I would say in the running for coolest.
Oh yeah.
In the running for and his daughter's a smoke.
Wow.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a genetic line of elves? Like
that's crazy.
The Kravitz line is
and they
bananas.
both and they just wake up and they all just lotion each other. And
no, they hire people to lotion.
Yeah.
They have servants.
The team comes in to make sure that their hats are just askew enough. Just like, and that's like, I am suspicious of that.
Everyone that Johnny Depp fired, the Kravitz have hired.
Okay, that is another thing I'm very suspicious of is like the cool Hollywood guy.
Yeah.
They're trying to look cool.
Absolutely.
which makes him not cool.
None of it is effortless.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that makes it so lame to me.
Every time people are like, oh, look at Timothée Chalamet. I'm like, that is not.
Timothée Chalamet is over in the corner going, should I put my hand in my pocket? Or should I leave it a little bit out of my pocket?
I think.
How should I?
I think. Hold up a second.
Like,
her house bag. That was just my friend. Okay, so because that's the thing. He has sort of like regular dude energy, but it's just like the last 15% of it's regular dude energy,
right?
And the rest of it is trying to be
a cool guy.
Yeah. Because like, listen, you can't do Dune, a complete unknown, and Willy Wonka, and then say like, but I'm just a regular guy, man. Like, no,
now he's doing like cool like interviews and stuff like that. Like, and everyone's like, dude, he's one of us.
No, he's not.
He's not. He's French.
Yeah.
and at no point has any French person been one of us. They actively don't want to be us.
In fact, Jerry Lewis was one of us until the French liked him, and then he became not one of us. So that's basically...
Dude, that is the Illuminati of people. Right? Once you get in with the French, you're really just with them.
Those are the people the Italians hate the most, because the Italians are pretty cool, but until you compare it to a French guy, then they lose everything.
And French people are cool because they actually don't care about you.
Human cat energy.
Exactly.
That is very much no.
It's that line where he's like, I think about, I don't know how you sleep at night when I think about you. He goes, I don't think about you at all.
That's exactly it. That is the core concept of the French society. Is I don't think about you at all.
Actually, not the big problem. What was your name?
The concept of your face never enters my brain.
With the
How do you?
I look at you. I think this is apathy. That's their poha. Oh, they go, and they do like a big part of there where they go.
It's been basically this whole situation results to a child's fart.
Exactly, but same thing. You see politicians doing it. They're like, and then we go into this. And we figure out the best way to boof.
That's it. Who cares? The important thing is my 16-year-old wife is very attractive.
Yeah. I hate them, and they are cool. It's both things.
They are the coolest, and it upsets me.
And they're not. Like, you know what I mean? Like
see, the same reason you hate Degrasse Tyson is why most people hate French, is because they insist upon themselves.
They do insist, and he insists.
He does, but here's the thing: French people only have the attitude of superiority, and he has the academia of superiority.
But the French people are also very willing to drop it. Because they don't care.
Yeah, well, they'll put a little resistance up front.
So like, you're actually not cool. You go, okay. If you told Neil deGrasse Tyson he wasn't cool, he'd be like, what?
I disagree.
I disagree. He's not up to you.
He would bring up 6 reasons why he was cool, and the 4 of them wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
The other two be a little bit like, oh, you got a little hazy on this one. But I'm just saying. So yeah,
I gotta press it one more time.
All right, one more
time, and then we're good.
All right, this one's for the vets.
The feds?
The vets.
Oh, got it.
The feds.
Oh, yeah.
You're making me a psyop now? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, of course you're a psyop.
Son of a bitch.
I think everyone who went to Catholic school is a psyop.
No, we're survivors.
Or that's what they told you to say.
Yeah, we've been indoctrinated. Like, first we get hit with rulers, and then we watch a black and white video for 20 minutes letting us know, like, when you are questioned, you say you're survivors.
Yeah.
The Lord will honor you afterwards. Like, no. Both my kids are atheists, and I've never been prouder but disappointed at the same time.
Right.
Because I want them to be atheists, but I want them to be atheists later. Like, I wanted them to believe the lie a little bit more. Mm. And so they kind of came to it a little bit sooner than I wanted. I was like, oh, son of a bitch. All right, it's good.
Well, I think they're going to find Christ.
I don't mind them meeting Jesus, but that's just a good Jew.
That's fine. But I mean, you should want your kids to get into heaven and be happy.
I think if you want to get spiritual,
I don't really. I am a Christian.
Okay, I know you are. I made funny about that.
Oh yeah. But I think your kids will get there.
Listen,
I think I'll get there. It's probably too late for you.
Yeah. I have refused the good word. I'm like, no, for several reasons. Like that is right. That is me. And I'll tell you what, for my son's birthday, I took him to MegaCon in Orlando. It's a big comic convention, right? And on the way back, now mind you, this is during the process where the divorce was just starting to happen. So, feelings are high. And we're driving back and my son's like, Dad, God's not real. And I was like, we just left a comic book convention.
Nothing's real, man.
Yeah, like all of it, like you were totally into like One Piece and Dragon Ball Z, like it was real. But like you're gonna draw the line at the God, like really, like if we're gonna believe fiction, we should believe all fiction. I think that's what about me. I was like, you're too on top of it. Like you gotta hold. At the time, he was 9.
That's too old for being an atheist.
That's too young to be an atheist.
I don't know. It's all kind of dumb. I know. Nothing did it. That's crazy, man.
Yeah. And basically, but weirdly enough, I use science to prove the hypothetical idea of a God, which is I said, everything you're saying can't be proven. He's like, yes. I'm like, where's the evidence? And he's like, oh, but that's what the people say. And I'm like, but they can't prove it, right? So that 1% means there might be a God.
Well, this is interesting. That's what Greek mythology was. It was hot aliens.
Right. That's exactly it. That's the logic of everything. Hot aliens came in and did all of it. And if they make you mad, they turn into a spider, but they're going to turn into a kangaroo and bang your mom. Like that is exactly
hot aliens come in and they're messing stuff up.
And you better tip them. You got to give them money to tip because nothing hot aliens will hate more
than American money.
Yeah, that's
There's nothing hot aliens want more than our arbitrary paper cash.
That's exactly it. So you better put it in there every week, just a little bit. If not, they're gonna flood your whole town.
I think 10% sounds fair. It's what you'd pay a manager, or what you'd pay an agent. Like hot aliens want 10%.
So in life, it's 18% minimum for service people. But managers and deities, 10%. 10%.
Managers and deities.
That is a rough sell, sir.
Well, I mean, but it's a gig economy.
Clearly, that's really what it is.
Hot aliens are in a gig economy.
Some gods have 3 positions. Like they're hustling out there.
I'm the god of frost and famine and war. I'm worn out, man. I gotta drag the sun across the sky in a chariot.
Wisdom, harvest, and quarters. Like that's really
I'm
weird.
a little behind on harvest, actually.
I gotta really speed these things up. These guys are hungry.
The calls keep coming in. I just like the idea of like a overworked middle management god.
What's going like? I mean, if you think about it, I really think
Catholics did it with the patron saints.
Well, no, patron saints are more like team leads. So angels are the middle management of everything.
Okay,
and God is the CEO, and Jesus is a
and no one can talk to him.
No,
you got to go through intermediaries.
That's why you have to put your request in with the team lead. The team lead talks to the regional manager. Regional manager talks to the VP. The VP talks to the CEO.
Well, this is the kind of restructuring I think the Reformation is really going to fix.
So who handles the fireworks?
Who handles the fireworks? I think fireworks are put back in the hands of the people.
Okay.
I think, obviously.
Sure. I mean, as long as it can't have hands.
Yeah. I think mostly South Carolina is going to handle that. Because it's how we do it here.
Right, sure.
South Carolina supplies the world with fireworks.
Absolutely.
And China.
Well, that's where they make it, and then they distribute from South Carolina. That's the pipeline.
I think we get China involved in the Reformation. They mostly handle drone shows.
Sure.
Yeah,
which is fantastic.
Terrifying videos.
Those are I love those. Like not only the stuff they make in the sky, but when they have the drone flying through the fireworks, those are insane. Like that blows my mind.
Crazy.
That is like I've had fantasies of like I want to take shrooms to see that, and now I don't need to. I can just watch that drone.
Every time I see those videos, for some reason on my algorithm, it has like Black Mirror music under it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like boom, 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 boom. I'm like, it's coming. The drones are coming.
I love the fact that drones are like basically putting most fireworks out of work, which is the stuff that they can do out of it.
Like, but we could make ours look like Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, and smile. Like you guys get one image. We can have an image, and then that image moves, and then it redistributes to another whole. Like that's amazing,
dude. Big Gunpowder is furious.
Oh my god, that is
Big Powder.
Yeah, Big Powder.
Not Columbia, but like Big Powder. Like Big Gunpowder is like, come on.
Yeah, this is the new Green Deal. Like if you can find out these drones can be powered by like wind and solar, that's it. No more fireworks.
Not a chance, dude. They are made from batteries mined by children.
I mean, listen,
Cobalt mines, dude.
listen, if it's anything The Wire taught me, is sometimes kids got to get got.
That's a good ending point.
Not my kids.
No. You're good.
Right.
Tell everyone where they can find you.
All right. You can go to ericdasilva.com, EricDasilva. I have an album out called Adorably Offensive. Really fun album. It was really early on in my comedy career, but like if you would love to support it, I appreciate it. I also have a comic book out called Danger Squad. If you go to dangersquad.com, and you also get it on Kindle and anyone publishing available there, as well as a bunch of other places that'll be coming out later on this year. But yeah, if you have kids, dangersquad.com too.
Love you guys. See you next week.
Bye.
That's the truth.